Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talking about a very important topic of serology, that is flow cytometry. This video is just a review. For further details you can check your recommended books. So without any further ado, let's get started. So here we have the flow cytometry. Flow cytometry is basically an immunophenotyping technique. What does it mean? It means when the fluorescent tag antibodies is mixed with a sample, then these antibodies bind to the cells in a sample that are specific to the proteins. Because when we use the fluorescent tag antibodies, so it will segregate the cells on the basis of the protein of interest that we want to study. And in this technique, we can study the multiple protein expressions by mixing the multiple antibodies into the sample. So this technique is basically an immunophenotyping technique in which the suspensions of living cells are stained with specific fluorescent label antibodies and then analyzed with the flow cytometer. We can also say that this is a biophysical technique that is used to study the characteristics like cell size, cell count, or a cell cycle. What is the principle of flow cytometry? It basically based on the principle of fluorescence, because the fluorescence is used on the basis of protein of interest that basically we want to study. It based on the principle of fluorescence, and the characteristics of the target cells emitting the fluorescence can be measured. The target cells when emit the fluorescence, then we can measure, because this target cell has the protein of interest that we want to study. It is an automated to analyze over the 10,000 cells per second for up to 30 different characteristics simultaneously. And because of this, we can also say that this is also known as the fluorescence activated cell scanner or a flow cytometer, because it will segregate the cells one by one. That's why we can say that it's a fluorescence activated cell scanner or a cell sorting. So here is all about the flow cytometry and the principle of flow cytometry. So here we have the sample preparing. For the cell expression, we use the fluorescent tagged proteins, and for immunolabeling, we use the fluorescent tagged antibodies. Here we have the mixture of cell or a sample that contain all type of cells. When it is treated with the antibodies that are labeled with red fluorescence protein, if it does not bind to the target cell, so no any fluorescence will produced. And if the target cells bind to these red fluorescence proteins or an antibodies, then the cell with fluorescence red. It means the antibodies are bind to these target cells. So it will show the red fluorescence, because the proteins that we are using, these are the red fluorescence protein. That's why the red fluorescence is produced. As we know that the flow cytometer is used for the research purposes or diagnostic purposes, so we will follow this method. First we will prepare the cell suspension. After preparing the cell suspension, this cell suspension is washed to remove the excess of the antibodies. Then this cell suspension is mixed with the fluorescent label antibodies, because this fluorescence is used because it will express the protein or the protein of interest that we basically want to study. Then after that, this sample passed from a flow cell one by one. When it passes from the flow cell one by one, then it comes into contact with the laser light. When the cells are fall onto the laser light, then the fluorescent molecules are produced and the fluorescence will produce. And these fluorescence are detected via detectors and will show on a system. And in this we use two type of detectors, that either the forward or the side. The forward detectors will measure the cell size, while the side scatters or the side detectors will measure the granularity of the cells. After that, they will express the profile histogram or a plot data. So, the cell suspension is measured with appropriate monoclonal antibodies that are conjugated with the fluorochrome. The cell suspension is made to flow, then after that with the flow cell. And after that, they pass through the laser light and expressed on the light detectors. And in this, we use two types of detectors because the laser light will emit the light. Two types of detectors: the forward, that will measure the cell size, and the scattered side, that will measure the granularity. After that, the system will express the data on the profile histogram or the dot plots. So here is all about the method of flow cytometer. Now we will understand with the help of a diagram. So here we have a diagram of flow cytometer. For flow cytometry analysis, a flow cytometer comprises of three systems. First, the fluidicy system, that are shown in blue, optics or a laser in yellow, and the detectors. These are detectors. As we have already discussed, the flow cytometer is used for the cell size. Either the size of the cell is small or a large. For the complexity of the cell, either the cell contains more granules or less granules. Or for the phenotype, either the cells are the normal or the healthy cells. So for all these purposes, we use the flow cytometer technique. So let's start. First, the cell suspension are mixed with the fluorescent label antibodies. As we have already discussed, when this cell suspension is passed through the flow cell or a sheath fluid, then this flow cell or a sheath fluid will generate a force. That's why these cell samples or a cell suspension, the cells run downward in one by one. That's why we use the cell flow, because the cells run downward one by one. When the cells run downward in the downward direction one by one, they pass through the laser light. Then this laser light will releases the light, and this light are detected by some detectors. That's why how much light is scattering or how much light is less scattering or how much light is more scattering. When the cells run downward one by one, they comes in contact with the light through the laser light that releases from the light scatter. Then these cells scattered this light in two directions, either the forward or a side scatter. And this forward or side scattered light are detected by some detectors, that are the forward detectors or the side detectors. The forward detectors will detect or measure the size of the healthy cells or dead cells, while the side detectors will measure the granularity of the cells. Here we have the forward scatter, the light that are emitted by the cell in the forward direction. Forward means it is continuous with the light path, and it basically used to detect the size of the cell, because the small size will scatter the less light and it will show the more peak, while the large size cells will show the more scattering of the light and the less peak. After that, they are detected by the detector. Then the detector receives this information and transfer to the system. Then this system will show this information in the form of graph. Second, we have the side scatter. When the cell passes through the laser light, some light are also scattered in the side scattering. So here we have the light path, the cell that show the side scattering, and it is refracted by the cell that is outside the original path, because the original path is basically the forward scattering, but the cell will also some side scattering light, and it is basically used the granularity or the complexity of the cells. The cells, how much contain the granules is present in the cells. The more cells, it means the more scattering of the light, but the less complex or the less granules means less scattering of the light. And the cells, it contain the more granules, so the peak is high, but the cell that contains the less granules will show the less peak. So here is all about the forward scattering or the side scattering. Here we have a graph that are plotted on a system. In the x-axis we have a forward scattered, and on the y-axis we have side scattered. And here we have some cells. In the green, it shows the cells have less size and have less granules, so the peak is less. But in the red cells are shows the more size than the green and the more granules than green, so the peak is higher than green. But the blue will show the more size or the large size or the more granules, so the peak is high. So here we have the graph between the forward scattered or a side scattered. After passing through the laser light, we have also some deflecting plates in our machine. One plate is positively charged and the other plate is negatively charged. And the cells that are positively charged will divert to the negative, while the cells that are negatively charged will divert to the positive. And these positive and negative charge are collected in a collection tube and are segregated one by one. That's why the flow cytometer is also known as the fluorescence activated cell sorting, because it will segregate the cells and it will contain the protein of interest that basically we want to study, because when they are mixed with the fluorescence label antibodies, then the fluorescence will show the fluorescent label antibodies or the protein of interest is present. And if the target cell does not contain the fluorescent label antibodies, so no any fluorescence will produce, and it does not contain any protein of interest that we basically want to study. So here we have the diagram of flow cytometer. As we have already discussed, this flow cytometer technique is used in the research or the diagnostic purposes. So here we have some clinical applications of flow cytometer. First, it can use to detect the fastidious organisms. It can also be used to study the cell viability and the nuclear ploidy. It can also be used for the detection of the antibodies in a cross match before the renal transplant. It can also be used to determine the lymphocyte subset. It can also be used to determine the immunophenotyping of the leukemia or the lymphoma. And for the leukemia, we will take the sample of bone marrow. For the lymphoma, we will take the sample of FNA. And for the whole blood collection, we will take the EDTA sample. And in the last, it can also be used to determine the markers, that are CD34, CD59 and HLA-B27 assays. So here is all about the flow cytometer technique. And in this video, we have discussed the principle of flow cytometer, the method with the help of a diagram, and the clinical application. If your books are giving you a hard time, so you can join our channel. And please don't forget to subscribe and share. And for my untidy handwritten notes, you can follow me on Instagram. Thank you and take care.